absolutely amazing. We're in Mozambique. There's a cyclone that's on the horizon. This thing is coming at us.
Cassius has reached Mozambique. We're now sailing along the coast of Mozambique, heading southwards towards South Africa. We're now going through a very interesting, very special place called das Qurimbas Archipelago. It's a very long chain of islands that goes for miles all the way along the coast. And what's so special about it is the depth of the water. So you're sailing in 500 meters of water and all of a sudden, bang, 20 meters and then 5 meters. And then there is a coral reef and an island or a sandbank, or sometimes just a bunch of mangrove trees sticking out of the water. I'm not sure what the origin of this. I think it's a chain of ancient volcanoes, which is now submerged underwater. What we should be careful of is very strong currents, because so much water being squeezed between the islands sometimes creates choppy seas and strong currents.
One thing worth noting is the clarity of the water. We spent a few weeks sailing through Tanzania, but barely swam there, as the water was often murky with sand and sediment from the large rivers. But here in Mozambique, you can literally see every grain of sand on the ocean floor.
Just a pile of sand in the middle of the ocean.
Well, we're in Mozambique. It's absolutely amazing. We're in Mozambique. This is so cool. So today is the first time that we've actually gone for a swim in the water since Cocos Keeling, and goddamn, we're loving it. It's so bloody nice. Crystal clear waters, beautiful blue sky, a sandbar that's exposed in the low tide, and we're in the low tide right now. This would not be here on the high tide. Look around. We took our time sailing through these islands and dropped anchor in a few places so we can go ashore and do some exploring when the tide allowed this. Mozambique has a tidal range of about 4 metres, which means this little gem would be barely visible above water on a high tide.
I have not seen water this clear since Cocos Keeling.
You know what, we haven't been for a swim for a long time, Jenya. Yes, and you're right, Cocos Keeling was the last time we ever saw water like this. Beautiful crystal clear, beautiful warm day. Does get chilly at night though, doesn't it?
Nice.
Yes, but it is wonderful. So the clarity is we're coming in at 11 metres and we can see the bottom clearly. We're watching our anchor go down. Local fishermen from far and wide visit the islands. We saw them at low tide foraging through the reef. The rest of the time, this patch of sand and rock belongs to the multitude of sand crabs. So I've just woken up and I'm trying to negotiate and navigate between these little boats. Have a look at it. We decided to sail into Pemba. It's a port town in Cabo Delgado, a province in the north of Mozambique. Approaching the anchorage, we were waved down by a local guy in an old leaky kayak, who then insisted on being our helper and tour guide throughout our stay.
My name is Hamza.
Hamza?
Yes, Hamza.
Nice to meet you, Hamza.
Nice to meet you too.
Hamza is getting right back to the land.
The town of Pemba has originally grown around the port, but more recently it's become a tourist destination for the Mozambicans and South Africans. There are a handful of hotels and restaurants about the town, and it's close to one of the large national parks which we sailed through earlier. Unfortunately, it's not the safest place in the country due to the recent Islamic insurgents.
Hamza organized the car for us so we can drive around town and get what we need, money, SIM card, groceries, and I'm actually glad we have a car because it's a very tough place to be around. people just running up to you. Someone was just trying to sell us a phone randomly.
Even though we have a
Very
mobile phone in their hand.
insisting on us buying a phone from him. It's not an easy place to be. So, 1,000 meticals is $15 US. New Mozambique meticals. Very hot, very dry. Oh, very gross. Lots of rubbish. We spent a couple of days in Pemba, and we heard that this town is a good base for exploring northern Mozambique, and specifically a few beautiful dive sites in the area. However, we didn't find this place that attractive at all, so once finished with all the check-in formalities, we picked up the Inca and headed further south to Mozambique Island. As soon as we dropped anchor in the bay, we got approached by a boat full of local officials who jumped on board and searched Cassius like no one has ever searched it before.
Every time you go to a province in Mozambique, you have to pay. Doesn't matter where you go in Mozambique, you have to pay.
They were going to take our boat documents and our passports, but we said, no, that's not happening. We're going to come with you. So they waited for us to get ready, get dressed, and now we're following the boat so we can go and pay some more money.
Pay them the money. And that's them. All captain's office, I think, now, yeah. So we're just waiting. Some sort of clearance now.
We're waiting.
On the wall. It's like a phone, it's like, I don't know, 100 years old.
Check that out.
Yep.
Receipt.
So that's the initial fees. Receipt, yep. So, as we explained before, the guys circled us this morning around the boat. They've escorted us onto shore here. The police, who actually took us on the motorbikes, took us to this office. They were discussing about the flag, because we don't have the Malaysian flag, because it's been torn apart. We don't need to pay for the flag. But they've come to us and said, look, wrote down the translator, compensation for fuel. Give us $5. So Jean and I gave them $5. Well, we've been told here that we had to pay about $100 US to stay for 6 days. We've just paid to the bank now, and they're here to pick up our paperwork. So, look, Mozambique is a tough place. Everywhere you turn, you've got to pay for it. But this is Africa, and hey, it's a gorgeous town. It's a great place to be.
The tiny island of Mozambique counts centuries of history. The original population of the island is Swahili. In the 16th century, the Portuguese took over. They built the fort and also a township, which is now known as Stone Town. Stone Town was a capital of Portuguese East Africa and a very busy port, the center of trade for slaves, spices and gold. With the opening of Suez Canal, the island's fortunes waned. The capital was moved to Maputo, and the nearby port took over the rest of the business. These days, the island of Mozambique is a popular tourist attraction and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. UNESCO recently established a dive center on the island, which is busy diving and cataloguing dozens of shipwrecks in the bay.
Wow, man, that's a lot of shipwrecks. There'll be a lot of Portuguese boats?
Yeah, Portuguese boat, English.
English, yeah?
Yeah. And Arab
Arab,
boat.
yeah.
Different boats.
Sure. And you see people finding the coins here, yes?
Yeah, coins, necklace. porcelain.
Really? Right.
Yeah, different porcelain, Europe porcelain, Arab porcelain,
Yeah,
China.
all the porcelain, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, ever since Madagascar, we've been admiring local dhows. And today we've decided we're going to actually charter one to take us to a nearby island that has a lighthouse and go check it out and see how they actually work in action. Let's go.
Cool, let's do it.
We got back on Cassius to discover some pretty bad news.
What we've actually done is haven't taken the conventional route of running from Mozambique, also Madagascar, down to Richards Bay. We've decided to go to Zanzibar and Tanzania and come down the Mozambique Channel along the Eastern African coastline. Now, we've also left it a little bit late by the sounds of it, because we're sitting in Ila, Mozambique, which is about a third of the way down Mozambique. We are here where this drop is, right here. And at the moment, we've got these southerlies pushing us, which we cannot sail through because we need to sail down. So we need this to turn around and come back down northeasterly. It's fine and well that we're sitting here for a couple of days waiting for these southerlies to drop off so we can go back out again and start sailing down through the channel and using the Mozambique current to actually push us down the channel. The problem is we've just been notified that there's a cyclone that's on the rise coming from the north. This thing is coming at us. So either we hide where we are now or we try and outrun it. So we are pretty much stuck here for the next few days. Now on the way down, Jen, Quirimbas River goes about 12 miles up and it's got mangroves. So Zhenya and I are looking at possibilities of shooting down as quick as we can. And if we need to, we can hide up in that river and tie off to mangroves and be secure for the cyclone to come across. Fingers crossed it goes over to Madagascar, but we do not know.
So it's just the waiting game at the moment?
It's a waiting game at the moment. It's a scary waiting game because not only we've got southerlies pushing into us with a channel that runs down to the north, from the north to the south, but we've also got a cyclones coming behind us. This is a treacherous part of the world.
Treacherous as it is, it's also a beautiful part of the world. So we didn't waste time and went back on land to wander the streets of the island and sample some local cuisine. Can you go up the stairs?
I don't know.
Yes, you can. What was wrong? We're used to seeing in Mauritius and Reunion windows
Yeah, so usually you see these shutters on the outside.
and wooden shutters on the outside, but here they're on the inside. Very strange.
Yeah, so it should be the other way around, because of the cyclones.
To protect the glass,
You shut the outside shutter.
Oh, tell us what Mozambique food is like.
Awesome so far. So we've got ungani, which is millet, and I've got some local prawns and a nice chilli sauce.
And I've got potato chips.
But you'll what else? Markets. You get tomato. Markets.
What is the sauce called about?
I don't know what these kids are doing. We're going to buy tomatoes. I think these kids want tomato. Where's the shirt I gave you?
What's your shirt?
All right, so it's now 9:30 on the 7th. And we still have some southerlies up there though, don't we?
We have about 10 to 12 knots southerlies.
Yep.
Swell should be about 2.5 meters. I think we can deal with it.
Yeah. And I just walked across the other side of the island to have a look on the windy side there, and it looks like it's a bit calmer now.
It's a bit calmer.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, let's use this opportunity because we have about 4 to 5 days weather window until the next lot of southerlies hits us. So we should be in Bazaruta by that stage.
All right, let's do it. Okay, but we have contingencies with our cyclone.
Yes, we do. So all contingencies are in place.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Once we left a sheltered bay, it wasn't a very comfortable ride for the first day or so, but we had no time to waste, so we continued our journey to South Africa. Hey guys! Oh, you got some fish! Nice, man. That's cool, huh?
Is it?
Word up, homeboy. Show us the fish. Ah, nice.